I love looking over the results of our Rhapsody Business Assessment. When a client takes the RBA and they present the results to you, and it's always fun to look at the area of customer experience or customer service. Almost every business rates themselves very high on customer service.
Right.
And oftentimes when we get into the conversation around it and we start to look into kind of under the hood of their customer service strategy, there isn't one.
Right, right.
What would you say to a client who sees themselves as having great customer service and yet probably has a lot of customers or people that aren't all that thrilled with what they're doing?
Right. Well, it's the whole notion of actually moving away from a customer service mindset to a customer experience mindset. What's the experience that you want your clients, your customers to have when they interact with your business from start to finish? And successful organizations, the ones that are really making an impact in the market, do not approach this haphazardly. Right. Their clients, customers don't have a positive experience by accident. It's because it's been built very, very deliberately. So I want you to think about a model of the last great movie you went to see or the last great book that you just read. We call it the story model when we consider how to help our clients build this customer experience by design. Well, every great story starts with what? A great introduction, right? I don't know about you, but if I'm watching a movie or reading a book for the first time, if it doesn't grab me early on, I'm probably not going to hang in for the duration, right? I'm not having a good time, and I'm going to get distracted and move off. Great movies, great books are written in such a way the introduction grabs you. And it's the same way when you're working with your clients. What's that introduction phase like when they're first starting to work with you or first using your product or service and interacting with your team? Is that experience a wow enough experience to keep them engaged? What's that introduction phase? Once you move out of the introduction phase of a movie or book, now you're into the plot line, right? You move into the actual story of what's unfolding. Now, for some businesses, that plot line is very short. For others, it's very long, and that really depends on the life cycle of your client in terms of what is the product or service and how long are you working with them, right? They're following this plot line in your business. Is that plot line engaging? What's that experience like? What are the touch points that you've put in place to keep the reader interested, to keep the moviegoer following on the edge of their seat and not losing interest throughout? Many businesses actually have multiple plot lines. This depends, even great movies, great epic films and books have an overarching theme, and yet we also have these subplots that are unfolding, right? Character development plots and stories that are unfolding, but they're all tied to the bigger story. Well, some of your clients will travel perhaps if you've got multiple products and services along different plot lines, but ultimately it's all tying into the bigger story. Then, of course, the best part, when you get to the end, the conclusion of the movie, the conclusion of that book is, again, what keeps you hooked. I don't have time to tell you stories of movies that I've been where the conclusion ruined it, right? Or the end of a book where we were disappointed because it just didn't quite land the way that it should have. What does it look like? What does the client experience look like in your business when your clients are done? When you're done servicing them or providing them a product or service, when they're exiting the business for a time, what does that look like? And have you designed that deliberately, again, to leave them feeling and having this wow experience? See, the point is, if you do this right, if you set up the intro right, if you tell the plot properly, if you've designed your conclusion, they're going to want to come back for more, right? They're going to come back next time you release a book, next time you release a movie, they're going to be first in line. And not only are they first in line, they're bringing family and friends with them. Think of things like Game of Thrones, a popular TV series that's developed like a cult-like following around the world. Think of the Marvel Comics universe, where over the period of 11 years have built a franchise that is unheard of, and people just kept wanting more and more. Think of Star Wars, one of my favorites, right?
Come on.
40 plus years of creating fans across multiple generations, and that keeps them coming back to the box office to engage. Why? They got the intro right, they got the plot right, they got the conclusion right, and they've created now raving fans that keep coming back and bringing others with them. So if you want your business to have that kind of magnetic effect, you need to take this stuff seriously.
Yeah, it's absolutely critical, and it's a great to use that story example example. I mean, I think of oftentimes if you start into a book and you don't enjoy it, not only are you putting that book away, you're probably not interested in the next book that author puts out.
Exactly.
And so you're, as a company, you might try different products, different services, but you gained a reputation with that client that they're not interested in what you're doing. To your point, when you do it right, they want to consume everything that you offer. They want to learn and dive into every book that you've written, etc. So it's a great model. I think it's something that we do need to take seriously, making sure that we are focused not on customer service, but customer experience.